We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and we're about to go through some Ayurvedic herb concoctions.
Why?
Yeah. We get questions all the time from people about what are all these herbs, like how do they use them, what are they for, and I feel like I don't even know what they're for. I don't know how to answer these questions. So we are extremely blessed to have Mr. Miller here today, who has all this information in his head and he's willing to share it with us.
Is that true?
Hello everyone. Yes, it is. And I guess I can start by saying that they're all cold water extracts in that they have all of the fiber, proteins, and inactive parts of them removed. So in these Ayurvedic herbs that are on the Raw Food World have just the active constituents. And so each one has been specifically scientifically researched to show exactly what the active constituent is of each of these traditional Ayurvedic herbs.
Wow. What do we
All
got
right.
here? Let's do it.
We're going to start, we're doing them in alphabetical order. And this is Amla Extract, which it also says Indian gooseberry. What's this one good for?
Phytonutrients, so primarily vitamin C. So vitamin C is one of those essential vitamins that everyone needs on a daily basis. So this one actually tastes good. So some of the Ayurvedic herbs are a little bit more bitter. This one has a very friendly taste. So you can add it to dessert recipes, herbal teas, and so yeah, primarily vitamin C and a full spectrum of phytonutrients.
Yeah.
So why can't we just have an orange?
You can, and it has the living water. It has a lower quantity of vitamin C, so you might have to eat a basket full of oranges in order to get the same potency of vitamin C that's in the Amla cold water extract.
Okay.
Next, Ashwagandha Extract.
So ashwagandha is a root, again cold water extract, and this one's a general adaptogen, and it's also, I've found, high in minerals. And so given that it's a root, it concentrates its mineral. It's grown in traditional soil that hasn't been contaminated by environmental pollutants. It's watered by natural irrigation sources, and so general adaptogen, friendly flavor. Also can be used in obviously tonic drinks, in herbal teas, and so yeah, general adaptogen.
What does adaptogen mean?
Adaptogen is when it goes into, works in the area where the body needs it the most. It's like multifaceted.
True, and the way I see it is we're constantly inundated with environmental, psychological, emotional, mental stressors, and so having a good amount of adaptogens in your body helps modulate your system to endure those stressors and not to get the negative side effects from them.
I've got a lot of mental stresses myself.
I also heard that ashwagandha is really good for balancing hormones, especially in women. Is that
true? True. Ashwagandha has that given its adaptogenic properties. Tribulus too, which we'll get into. That one is more known for the endocrine system, balancing the hormones in both men and women.
nice? Next, Bacopa monnieri.
Yeah.
Your favorite tasting herb?
Yeah, this one is the least palatable. Bacopa monnieri, also known as Brahmi, which is the king class in the Hindu culture. So this one is generally taken for advancing and building cognitive ability, mental acuity, mental clarity. Really excellent mix with cacao, with the MAO inhibitor. It allows the Bacopa's properties to fully, they're actually called Bacopicides, to fully enter into the brain and to stimulate that clarity that most of us are all seeking.
Very good.
And by least favorite tasting, what he told us earlier is that a couple sprinkles on your tongue and your nerves start to twitch.
Strong stuff.
So he was saying it mildly.
Yeah, and I've slowly acquired the taste for it. It's salty, as Julie was saying, and so at first it's a very intense flavor, but Angela was saying that she was going to maybe sweep some into veggie caps, and so that way you just swallow them simply and get into your system, and that way you don't have to taste it.
Baba! Alright, the next one, we actually don't have one here to show you, but it's holy basil.
Yeah, holy basil or tulsi, also an adaptogen. I feel like it's more of a feminine herb, so men that are more masculine, I feel it's beneficial for them to soften some of those energies, and so too for women if they want to build that sensitive nature that they have inside. I feel holy basil is useful for that. There's a whole litany of other things holy basil are useful for. It's also high in antioxidants, but that's some of the information that I've tuned into with the holy basil.
All right, Mucuna Prunis.
Mucuna Prunis, also known as velvet bean, a really special herb, not always tuned into in Ayurvedic medicine. This one's high in levodopa. So some of the information that I've come across is often people will have low dopamine in their brain, and so that inhibits their willpower. And so often people that find themselves languishing in their activities, not fulfilling and meeting their goals, Mucuna is a beneficial herb for that. Also has really high spiritualizing properties such as 5-MeO-DMT and N-DMT and bufatine, which aren't always found in plant-based medicine. So you won't have a visionary experience from it, but it has those subtle signatures that can impart that in your everyday world.
I've heard it's really good for people that have the shakes, Parkinson's, stuff like that.
Yeah, David Wolf has had a couple people within his experience that he's given just the first dose, and they've noticed a decrease in their nervous system disorders because of the high levodopa dopamine receptor constituents.
All right, Tribulus Terrestris saponins.
Yep, saponins is the active component property in Tribulus. It is, as said before, an endocrine modulator. It's generally also used in most folklore medicine for building up stamina and muscle build. A lot of bodybuilders end up using Tribulus. But it is also, in my research, it has an MAO-B inhibitor, which in conjunction with cacao, Tribulus, and Mucuna can impart a really light and worthwhile experience.
Wow.
All right.
You guys don't just make pretty pies, do you? There's some
stuff.
secret mastery going on here.
Look at the color of this one. Turmeric.
Yeah, and this is medicinal turmeric. You can use it as a culinary spice. We often use it to finish salads. It makes a really beautiful finish on the top of salads. So obviously high antioxidant content. Turmeric is also an anti-inflammatory. I think that's how it's most commonly known. And yeah, the brilliant color. It can be used as a food coloring substitute. And yeah, just really brilliant color. It has a high antioxidant content as spoken on. Yeah.
I think, isn't it really great for blood as well, turmeric? Yeah. Like it cleans up the blood, and especially like bad cholesterol, it helps to pull that out, I heard.
Definitely. Most of these herbs have corollary and secondary benefits, and those are definitely a few of them.
Cool. Penultimate one, Shilajit.
Yeah, Shilajit's been spoken on many places, and this one is probably the longest description, but I'll make it brief. Shilajit comes from a really high strata in the Himalayan mountains. It's an accumulation of plant matter and rock matter that's been ground down into a paste that then oozes out of the Himalayan mountains during the warm months in the summer. So I generally, as a simple simile, it's like rock blood. But it has 85 plus dietary minerals, trace minerals, and ultra trace minerals in their organic and ionic form. So this is the optimal and ideal mineral supplement. As well as some of the other side benefits, it has 3% fulvic acid, 5% fulvic acid, 3% humic acid, and like 1% oxalic acid. So fulvic acid, as David and others have spoken on, you can pull up fulvic acid report and read all the virtues of fulvic acid, but it helps dissolve toxins and help eliminate them from your body, among many other things.
Isn't it true that if you take Shilajit with the other herbs as well, it helps to boost the benefits of the other herbs?
Most definitely. Yeah, it has those potentiating factors too.
All right, last one, Valerian.
Valerian, this one I've actually done the least amount of personal work and research on, but it's a muscle relaxant. So how we've seen it becoming useful is either people that want to get to sleep, whether they've just had a really busy day or their mental realm is racing. It's a good one to help take you into the dream world. Or also body work. If you're getting really intense body work, you know, some people are so tense that haven't had body work a lot. Taking a little bit of valerian will help like soften that nervous energy, and then also relax your muscles and be able to allow you to go deeper than you would without.
Nice. And so the main way you use these are in teas, or?
Yeah, I generally would make like a yerba mate tea or whatever herbal tea that you're resonating with, and then add just a small amount. We also add them to superfood smoothies, and Julia makes them into like Divyana nectar. You can just take honey, coconut oil, any number of these herbs, and then that makes it more palatable. And then also you can add them into different recipes, dessert recipes, savory recipes, as I was saying with like the turmeric. But yeah, those are the two primary and most common ways even to take these herbs is an herbal tea or in like an elixir or superfood smoothie.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We got the download.
Thank you.
And Angela, you're going to take them in a pill?
Yeah, I got a little capsule filler and a load of veggie caps, and I'm gonna experiment, especially I guess with this interesting tasting one, of putting it into capsules so that I can just get it into my body. Because I've been looking at these things for months and thinking, I want all this stuff in my body and I don't know how I'm going to get it in. So I decided to get capsules, because then at least I know that that's an easy way of getting it into my body. But yeah, I love that I can just put it into teas and smoothies and drinks and stuff as well. So lots of ways.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If people are already raw, or if they're eating pretty healthy, like what's their motivation? Can you get this through normal foods, or is it like, hey, this is a good thing to take even if I'm feeling already kind of healthy?
Yeah, good question, and I've reflected on it a bunch. For me, the alkaloids, the saponins, and the phytonutrients that are in herbs aren't found in common hybridized fruits and vegetables. If you went wild foraging, you would get some of these alkaloids and saponins, but because most of our food has been cultivated, even whether, you get it at the co-op or farmers markets, it doesn't have these bitters or these alkaloids that you find in herbs. And so, given that we don't live in a 100% natural environment, that we endure stressors that our ancestors didn't, I do think herbs are very worthwhile and potentially essential.
And dumb it down another level for me. Alkaloids and saponins?
Yeah, saponins and phytonutrients. So those are the active properties in herbs that help bestow what to simplify is information. So there's receptor sites in your cells in your body that receives alkaloids, that receive tannins, and receive phytonutrients in order for it to function in a way in which it wouldn't have without them, in order for it to either alleviate toxins, balance certain body systems, or purify the blood, or a whole litany of different functions that the body wouldn't do on its own.
So we have the receptor sites, we're supposed to be getting it in. If we were wild foraging, we would be getting them, but since we're not, the body's already lined up to receive them, and it's like, okay, we should get them in. I got it.
Yep.
I feel like you came off the mountaintop or something, and you're like teaching us these things. It's cool. Thank you very much. That's really neat.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And what's your name?
Brian Miller.
Angela Stokes Monarch.
Laura with pie.
And Zach.
And Matt Monarch, medicinal urban it up. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
Pie.
With pie. And we'll see you again tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.